we won't have official class on Wednesday because of the SAT. Kinds of things on that test. I'll give you a review packet thing at the end of class. Yeah, so you need to still know unit circles. You need to be able to use those trig identity functions to swap one thing out for another. And you need to be able to solve. And all of those things require knowing these things or having the unit circle memorized. However, Algebra 2 had to do it. Personally, I find knowing these guys was easier because this was created by cutting a square in half and doing the Pythagorean theorem. This was created by taking an equal out of a triangle, cutting it in half and doing the Pythagorean theorem. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just the way math works. Unless you disagree with the Pythagorean theorem, that's all that's involved. So, personally, I think the biggest issue is algebra. Solve for x. With your group, solve for x. Use the whiteboard or something.
You have a marker?
All over the place. Lots on the floor, right by your feet.
For all of these problems, were they supposed to come out like n equals something?
Some trig function equals a number. We'll go over the first six to get.
Oh, yeah.
Because out of 3x. Yeah. So guys, right on the whiteboard, I want to see what you're doing as you work.
Yeah, that's how it started.
You could just.
Yeah, 3x.
Okay. All right, so one thing I saw was another thing I saw. Some people are erasing things that were correct. Okay, so, first comment, don't do this. Divide on the left, divide on the right, and here dividing by 3 I get x, here dividing by 3 I get 2, not a half, and an x squared. And now if you divide by x, can x ever be 0? It can be 0. Am I allowed to divide by 0? No, so that's a problem. Here, dividing both sides by 3x, I get 2x equals 1, and x equals a half, which, yes, but same issue. Dividing by 0, it's a problem. this is the method that I wanted to see, that you subtracted to the other side, factored out the thing in common, setting each of those answers to 0, and I get 2 answers that are right. X could be 0 or X could be a half. And like, if you throw away half the answers, you're throwing away half the credit. And with trig, when is cosine 0? Cosine 0 is twice, because you're throwing away 2 answers. Issues, questions? Emery? Question? No?
Okay. So hopefully you guys have that worksheet from Friday. The goal is I am going to have you guys come up and do the first step of a bunch of the problems. Okay. And again, that these first pieces were homework. Group 8, can you do the very, very first step? Group 2, can you do the first step for the problem on the right?
So, and Isaac.
Why don't you just put like a sticky tape,
Group
sticky
8.
note down with the group numbers on the tables?
Because I used to have the table pins and they always fall on the floor.
Like-
Here you get off the phone.
Why not just a sticky note that you take down with like tacky tape?
Because it falls on the floor just like the markers within about 20 minutes. Before the end of one class, so I'd be picking them all up every class. So I tried.
I'm not talking about a tent, I'm talking about a sticky note that's taped out with packing tape, with clear packing tape.
The desks get moved every week for a quiz or a test that the specific desk that has the sticky tape on it doesn't necessarily end up in the There's so many things. I could just be like, come on, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for months now. Maybe you guys can just do that. I can put the tables on the little tents up. We did for like 8 weeks. Okay, so they did the first step. This group subtracted 1. This group did 2 steps. They added the 2 and then divided by root 3. All right, cool. Group 5. So Mache and William, can you do the next step here? The next step on number 1. Group 1, can you do the next step on number 2? So group 5, the next step. Group 1, the next step. Did anyone else not get the worksheet from Friday? Okay, divide by 2. Okay, so now they're in the same spot that we are for number 2. Muhammad and David. This is asking what angle makes secant 2 over root 3, and I want all of my angles to come from 0 to 2 pi.
Would be cosine root 3 over 2.
So sure, yes, you get up. I'm not doing it for you, but yes, it is where cosine equals root 3 over 2. Because that's the thing upside down. Danny, can I get negative angles for this? No. Because why, Luca? Luca, why? Why, I just asked, can I get negative angles? And he just said no, he was about to do one. And I stopped him, so I was asking you. Where am I asking for the answers from, Luca? 0 to 2 pi, so that doesn't have angles that are negative, that are possibilities. So where is, across from pi over 3 is root 3. Where is root 3 adjacent? It is adjacent at pi over 6. Where else is cosine positive? What other quadrant? 2?
4.
4. Okay, so we were given a quadrant 2 angle, but we want quadrant 4. What is the pi over 6 in quadrant 4? 11 pi over 6. Okay, group 3, so Oliver, Bella, and Alana, can you come up and tell us when is sine negative 1/2?
No negative angles. We want 0 to pi. Sorry, 0 to 2 pi.
Oh, yeah, these ones are.
So I agree you have the reference angle right.
Because we did a new thing, not.
Oh, you're on eraser. You got to click the pen again. There you go. Welcome to my world.
0, 5, 2, 5.
Okay, do we agree?
That one says no.
No? How many quadrants is sine negative in out of the 4?
The bottom.
The bottom 2.
That means it would be
5 pi over
11 pi over
6 is up here, so that's not gonna do it. William, what are you saying?
11 pi over 6 or 7 pi over 6?
Because it's pi plus 1/6 more. So 6/6 plus 1/6 is 7 pi over 6. And then the full circle, 2 pi minus 1 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6. Yeah? Okay. All right. So 3 and 4. Group 9, can you do the first step? Group 7, can you do the first step?
Which one are we gonna be on?
What do you mean?
Unless we did.
Oh, well, you're group 5, you were called up once already.
Um,
So the first thing, they added the number to the other side. Cool, sure. Group 10, next step. Group 6, next step. And group 4, you're after that. Oh, wait, so group 10, Danny and Luca.
We are at least 6, so we're supposed to be out.
You're 4. Because it sneaks around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so group 4.
And now we start the groups over again.
I did difference of squares.
Which is valid. It's hard in this case, but it's valid.
It's just easier
Oh,
for me to
group
think
4
about it.
twice. So group 4, you get to do this side too. So Jerry and Isla, one of you come up as well. Okay. We look stuck.
Yeah.
Because that
If,
thanks.
if I said, pick a letter that we don't have up here. So, all of you, if I say y squared equals 25, what is y?
Oh, yeah, I
Plus or minus 5, that's your hint.
Ivan said, I did difference of squares here. Okay? Okay, so you've gone past what you need to do, so we're
Oh,
good.
Am I not writing the answer?
No, I just wanted the next thing.
One issue. Okay. When you put in the square root, you need to do the plus or minus. The last class, lots of people said, well, there's a square root, and they put a plus or minus in there, which is wrong. This was already here. It wasn't written, but it's implied to have been positive. Don't introduce the negative. It's not there. If I wanted the negative, I needed to give it to you in the first place. However, down here, when you put in the square root, you need to do the plus or minus. And square root of 3/4, is that on the unit circle or not? It looks weird. Can I split this up? Can I make it the square root of 3 over the square root of 4? Is that a valid, Emery's telling me yes? What is the square root of 4? So this is asking, where is sine plus or minus root 3 over 2? Oh, that is on the unit circle. It does look familiar. And this is plus or minus 1 over root 3. But I'm not done. So, group 9 again over here, and group 10 again over here. Can you guys put up answers?
What angles make those things happen between 0 and 2 pi? Can you write a pass?
Do we do both the positive or the negative answer?
Okay. Keep going.
Okay, so, I understand what you're saying here, but I don't like, because 1 over root 3 isn't equal to pi over 6. I understand you're saying when tangent is positive 1 over root 3, I get these guys, and when tangent is negative 1 over root 3, I get those guys. Just tell me the answers, don't. And, like, when it's plus or minus, it's the easier answer. Just give me all the over 6s. And here, it's plus or minus, so when is sine negative root 3 over 2? Well, we got one positive, one negative, but I wanted all the answers. Tangent is root 3 over 2 at pi over 3, but also 2 pi over 3. Tangent is negative root 3 over 2 at 5 pi over 3, but also down here at 4 pi over 3. So we get 4 answers, the 2 positives and the 2 negatives. Minus it, question?
Just when it's negative, you just subtract it from the reference.
Okay. For each of these, it's a mess. Can I clear, or you guys?
Yeah.
One person very loudly says yes, and the sibling says no. All right. So Isaac, when the reference angle is pi over 3, and I know I want all 4 of them, this one over here is a whole pi
Yeah, I get it.
minus 1/3, which gives me 2 pi over 3. Down here is a whole pi plus 1/3, which gives me 4 pi over 3. The hard one is this guy. Full circle in radians, 2 pi over 3, which is common denominator, 6 pi over 3, minus 1/3. It's, it's all of them.
Oh, okay.
Because it was plus or minus. I wanted every answer, which is 1/3, 2/3, 4/3, 5/3. That was 4 and 5. Okay, so we have 5 and 6 left to do. And these guys have an issue. For number 5 to factor, I have different things. I have different variables. Anybody got a suggestion on how we're gonna make them? Yeah?
1 minus cosine squared for the left part.
See, that's a kid that when you distribute the treats, they didn't get the treat that everybody got. That's why they're yelling like that. If you distribute wrong, that noise will come and attack you. Okay, we are told sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1, and you are wanting to get rid of the sine squared to make it cosine squared. That's, so instead of sine squared, cool, I agree. There are options. Group 2, can you do the next step on the one on the left? Okay, can we do sine squared divided by cosine squared? Can cosine be 0? Cosine can be 0, so am I allowed to divide by cosine? Not a good idea. In this case, it will work, but it's not a good idea. So hang on, group 2, can you put something up? Emery, you have a question?
Oh, it's just not like what you said earlier, I had it right there.
Okay. In group 8, can you do the next step on the one on, or the first step on the one on the right? What's your question?
You said like just write all the answers with that.
When it's plus or minus, like, the question was this, and you told me 1/√3 and gave me correct angles, which the angles you were giving me were alpha. So alpha was all the over 6s.
Oh, so like we wouldn't separate them?
Yeah, you don't have to, and if you got it wrong, like if you said, oh, it's negative here and positive there, and you got them exactly backwards, that's technically wrong. All you gotta do is just list them out. Don't tell me which is which. I don't ask for the details. Don't give them. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be 1 minus sine squared equal cosine?
Sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1. If I subtract cosine squared, because he said he wanted to get rid of it.
Okay.
You could have done it the other way. There are options here. Group 8, can you do the first step here?
Ms. Pascal,
Yep.
for this problem, you just divide cosine.
Okay.
To make it sine over cosine.
Go ahead, we can both write at the same time. Okay. So, from the warm-up, the very first thing, okay, hold on. Very first thing I said was, when we had, okay, you can go see it. When I said 6x squared equals 3x, and you guys wanted to divide by 3x on both sides, that's not good. It's like, don't do that divide because you're dividing by some answers. What we need to do is subtract. And then set each term to 0. And I got x equals 0 and x equals 1/2. Over here, if we start this way, I am throwing away 2 valid answers. Don't start that way. Over here, someone just said, can I just do where is tangent squared 3? And if cosine equals 0 as an answer, you've just violated some stuff. You've just thrown away answers. Which cosine's not gonna make it's not gonna be 0 when tangent's 3, so it will work. You will get the right answers, and it's risky. And you need to get 4 answers. But we're not done yet. So can someone else start problem 6? The first step is not dividing. Group 7. Hang on, we're on eraser. Let me fix that. There you go. Okay, so subtracting.
Is that Ed or strike?
I need to see like what's on the left side of the equal sign now. Where's the equal sign and where's the other side?
Okay.
That's what I wanted to see. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so group 3, can you continue the one on the left? And group 1, can you continue the one on the right?
So group 3, something over here. Group 1, something over here. Someone else from the group get up. Oliver got up last time. Mohammed, I think it's your turn up. David, didn't you get up last time? So the next thing is factor. Is there something that comes out of both?
You can pull out the cosine. Just put cosine A.
That's right. Can you do the next step too? Do you know what the next step is? And when you square root, what do you need to do? There you go. Equals. Put the angle on there. Yep. Thank you.
You just pull out cosine A.
Okay, on the left, divided by 4 and then square rooted. When they square rooted, she did a lot of steps. She did kind of like 3 steps. She said square root of 1/4 is the square root of 1 over the square root of 4. Square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. She added the plus or minus. That's a 2. Square root of cosine is cosine squared is cosine. Yes, you need the plus or minus. That's like one of the big things in trig calc. Okay, but if you do have a square root, so. Group 5, can you put up the answers to number 5 on the left? So William and Mache, that's you guys.
Wait, Miss Pascal.
Okay, this didn't, hang on a sec.
So,
So-
just give them the answers, right?
Yep. On the right here, taking cosine out of both of those, it's 2 sine A cosine A with the cosine taken off. So 2 sine A, I agree. Minus cosine divided by cosine, so this should just be a -1. It's not a +1 in the parentheses and a -1 on the outside. If we want to check, distribute up. Cosine times 2 sine is 2 sine cosine. Cosine times the -1 is just the negative cosine, and we're done. Yes, David?
Wait, why does on the left problem it turn into 4 cosine squared A?
I get 1 on the left, 3 cosine squared plus 1 cosine squared is 4 cosine squared. And then Bella divided by 4 on both sides, and she square rooted both sides, put in the plus or minus, did the square root correctly, and left it to William to come up and say, where's cosine a half? So, Emery, this is the safe way to do those. What's the reference angle? Where's cosine a half at pi over 3? Tell me all the pi over 3s and just be like, the angle's any one of those. Enough said. All right? Group 6, that's you guys. And you continue this one. So if you need to see it more neatly written, taking cosine out of both of those, we are left with 2 sine A minus 1 in there. What now? Even if I tell you A times B equals 0, this thing times this thing equals 0. What do you know about A or B?
One of them has to be 0.
So that's the next step. What does that mean?
Algebra, my friends, you hate it. Collectively, you dislike it. Whew. Toasty in here. Right, so where is cosine 0 and where is 2 sine A minus 1 equal to 0? Keep the angle on it. Can you put an A there? Just write it in right now. Sine A equals, thank you, 1/2. Okay, and now you get to pick someone else.
Six upside down. 9, group 9. Can you come up and tell us the next thing? Not Emery, he's already been up.
That's good, huh?
Yep.
If you were to like divide like cosine on a test, when it was still right, would you take points off?
If you divide by cosine and lose answers, you lose a lot of points. If you divide by cosine and it didn't cause an issue,
Is it theta?
it's an A, whatever. If you divide by cosine and it ended up being a, oh,
I don't know what I did.
Oh my, you took everything away.
My bad. Oh, is that the redo? The undo?
Yep. I don't know how many times you hit it.
I think just twice. I don't know why it's not working. No, I hit like the page one.
Oh.
Because I thought it was undo.
No, you
Well,
just-
everything's-
You just need to scroll down a little.
Yeah.
Yep,
what?
I'm trying to. I've lost the cursor now. Gosh. So A equals what? Where is cosine 0?
5 or 6. And 5.
Okay, that's where sine is a half. Okay. And there's the other factor. Where is cosine 0? You got to get those answers too.
Oh, okay. So then it should just be pi, right?
Okay, cosine is the x value or the y value?
Oh, no, sorry. It'd be pi over 2.
And where else?
3 pi over 2.
Yep, write it down. Whew. So Emery, I'm not sure I ever answered your question. don't divide by the trig function. If you do it and it doesn't cause issues, it depends on how you do it. You might lose half a point, you might lose nothing. All right, there's the first 6 that you were supposed to have done for homework. Any questions on these? Okay. Can you work on the back? And I will hand out the review sheet. The front page of the review sheet is homework. Number 7 has a stinker thing that it comes up with an answer that we need a calculator for. We're going to disregard that one. We're going to be like, there are answers, but I'm not going to find it. So factoring the one with a 3 as a lead coefficient, algebra. On number 7, on the sheet that you're working on right now, there's an issue. Why would cosecant have to equal 0? No. Is this equaling cosecant? Doesn't work the pattern of when does this times that equal 0? No, doesn't work.
You never gave us the.
Sorry. Okay, yeah, guys, so some of you are getting the factoring in stuff. Factoring by Zen, the way I do it. If it's going to factor nicely, 2 things that multiply to be sine. 3 sine squared, that is. 3 sine and 1 sine. If it's going to factor nicely, 2 things that multiply to be 1. Now, what 2 things, nice numbers, multiply to be 1? What 2 numbers multiply to be 1? 1 and 1. Well, I just like 1 and 1. All right, this one's the pain. The signs are going to mismatch, so it's either plus minus or minus plus. How I'm going to check to see which one it is? It's going to be the smiley face of FOIL. Outside times outside. That's 3 sine. Inside times inside is 1 sine. Do I want 3 minus 1 to get positive 2 or 1 minus 3 to get negative 2? I want this guy to be the negative. So for that guy to be the negative, it goes negative here and then plus. Or you can do the splitting the middle term. I don't have the space for it up here. So then I was told people got, where's sine negative 1/3? It does hit negative 1/3 lots of places. You need a calculator for it. We're not going to ask you non-calculator or non-unit circle things. So there are answers. We need a calculator for it. There are those out there, and I don't want to do those. I don't care. But where is sine 1 that I can do without a calculator?
So Nora, square sine 1. He's pointing into the air. He's like, it's the y value with that guy up there, pi over 2, yes. And then two other answers in here that are some things with stuff.
So would we put like blanks or just
So leave them as 2 question marks. Like the details for that, I'm not gonna ask you to do them on a calculator. Ahmed?
Okay, do number 12.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I got sine squared, I got cosine squared, and I got cosine. I need to get rid of one of them. The last example we did like this, Alana had sine squared or cosine squared, and I could get rid of either one. This one, there's very particularly a right one to choose to get rid of. Who do I get rid of?
Wait, I'm confused, sorry.
So for number 12, I have cosine squared, sine squared, and cosine. I can change cosine squared into sine squared or sine squared into cosine squared. Which one should I get rid of?
Sine.
Sine squared, because there's cosines floating around. Okay. So Ahmed, here's your start. Negative sine squared is cosine squared A minus 1. Yes, no? Combine things, factor, and solve. Okay. Eliza's saying combine like terms. Yep.
Would it be negative cosine squared A minus 1 or with negative
I solved for negative sine squared here. So cosine squared minus 1 is negative sine squared. You could do this all kinds of different ways. Alana, what's your point? What are you gonna say? Do I need this plus 0? No. But combining all the like terms, like Eliza was like, okay, cosine squared plus cosine squared is 2 cosine squared. Negative 1 plus negative 1 plus 1 goes to 0. And because I want to stop you from dividing by cosine, move this to the other side. Don't divide by cosine because cosine can be 0 and that's some of the answers. Cherry, how does this factor? 2 doesn't come out of both of these guys though, so. Guys, finish this sheet as well as the front of the review packet.